Yo, what's good everybody? This is Celebi4 and welcome to Expanded Pokemon Sets, where we look at the expanded Pokemon sets starting with the black and white era, and then eventually I'll do 6th Gen X and Y. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most, I always say it's one of the most special, well, with a few exceptions, but this one is probably the best or most influential black and white set, at least the most well rounded, I would say. I even included it in my top 10 best sets of all time video that I made a long time ago. I probably would have changed if I would have done this again, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. The seventh one, it is of course Boundaries Crossed. So, Boundaries Crossed, I guess the most special thing about it, the most significant thing about it, it was that it brought the A-Spec mechanic into the game. A-Specs, of course, still very relevant to this day in the expanded format because you can only play one of those cards and they're extremely powerful. All of them are items and they still get affected by the same parameters, like against item lock, you can't use them, and a bunch of other stuff. We had regular items, we had some tools, and most of them are very broken. There's a few of them that are bad, but most of them broken, especially the ones over here. Well, one of them anyway. So, where to begin? Normally I begin with the EXs. This set is actually kind of sizable too, 150. For back then it was a decent amount of cards. It was bundled with a bunch of, I think, promo cards that came in Japan, so there will be a bunch of weak cards too in here. But there's a lot of good Pokemon and good EXs and trainers, of course. So I'm going to go down and I'm actually going to start with the A specs as opposed to the EXs this time. So the first set here, the A specs we get are Computer Search, Crystal Edge, Crystal Ball, and Golden Potion, Gold Potion. Two of these are good, the other two are meh or bad. Obviously the best card in here, the best A spec pretty much, and what really pushes this set at being so significant and still relevant to this day is Computer Search. This usually is considered the best A spec, the A spec you should run in your deck. The only one given it kind of some competition is Dowsing Machine, which allows you to reuse, basically have like a fifth or an extra copy of a certain trainer in your deck. This one is all about boosting your consistency. It's the Joker card. This is how I call it. Like if you're playing real cards, poker or whatever, Joker, it becomes anything you want. You discard two cards from your hand, and then you can get anything from your deck, put it into your hand. Your opponent doesn't even see what it is because you can grab anything, and it's just an all-around, excellent, fantastic-ass card. Back in the Wizards days, obviously you could run four of these, crazy base set, but then they made it into a only one per deck with the A spec rule. So it definitely is deserving to have an A spec named after it, Computer Search, because it's just that good. The other one that I really like here, and in the beginning it was also kind of, people would debate whether or not Gold Potion would give a lot of merit in conjunction with the big EXs with high HP. A Gold Potion. You heal 90 damage from your active Pokemon, you don't discard any energy, there's no drawbacks, no limitations. It has to be on the active Pokemon, which is a little bit annoying, but it's a decent amount, even to this day, for healing and tank decks. I find myself using this card because, it gives you that solid ass healing, 90 damage, with no drawbacks, pretty much. Sometimes it's just much better than Max Potion. But of course, if you can move around energies and stuff, then Max Potion is better. But this is the second best A spec in here. I would use this quite a bit back in the day when I used to use the Primal Kyogre deck with 240 HP. You did combine the healing with this and then Rough Seas, and then you really just set back your opponent. Even if you just one turn, just one use of this card could completely change the game. So very, very good. I use this, well, these days I use this in the freaking Guzzlord Naganadel tank deck. The Guzzlord Naganadel tank GX. But anyways, I guess I should move on. We're not here to talk about decks. So the other two, these were basically A-Specs that could only be used with the Carom, the black Carom EX and the white Carom EX. This one is for the white Carom EX. Each of its attacks do 50 more damage to the active Pokemon. So, that seems like a good multiplier. I mean, it's like almost a ×3 muscle band when you think about it. But the thing is, what the A-Specs that our tools have always suffered from, like even the best ones like Life do, is that your opponent can get rid of them. You put this on and then your opponent uses like Tool Scrapper, Megaphone later on. It sucks. So at least, I mean, if you get one use out of it, like you attach this and then you do damage, it could be okay. But White Carom EX, I think we're going to look at it too. It wasn't that great anyway, so this multiplier didn't do much. We'll see, because I don't quite remember. It's a useless, forgotten card. Crystal Wall, this is maybe slightly better. It would make the Black Carom EX have 300 HP. That was actually a decent upgrade. You get like 120 extra HP. It's a good amount, I mean. You gotta admit that. But once again, if your opponent used Tool Scrapper, then it was useless. Even worse, if they did like 180 damage, then they're thinking, okay, you're not dead yet, but once I use the Tool Scrapper, you die on my turn and I can attack again. So they weren't really very good. I mean, especially when the competition were Computer Search and Gold Potion. Computer Search especially. So you know what, since I'm in this area, talked about a few items, let's look at the other trainers in this set. Asperia City Gym, Gym of the, Asperia City. Each colorless Pokemon in play gets 20 HP. I think, this is like the first gym in the town in Black and White 2 where Charon is the gym leader. I could be freaking wrong, but I don't think so. And this was actually a decent little card if you were using a bunch of colorless Pokemon. Getting that 20 extra HP, I mean, I guess it would make Regigigas EX have like 200 HP, and that could have been a bit significant. I guess other colorless Pokemon could benefit. Not really any tactic that comes to my mind that I can remember. It's just, if you use colorless Pokemon, maybe the stadium is good. But we have other ones that do similar things nowadays anyway. Right. You got Energy Surge, Great Ball, and Hue. I believe this is the set Hue comes in. So this is, I think, Black and White. Boundaries Cross, it's like, it corresponds to like the Black and White 2 games. After the Black and White games, the first batch of them. So this card seems kind of bad, but if you know anything about the Wailord EX stall deck, that was, I think in 2015, that came to the finals. Jason Klasinski beat that shit, and man, I was so crazy. Awesome times. That was an insane match. You guys should find it on the internet and just check it out. Even the J-Wish just couldn't believe how he did it. But anyway, so this card, Supporter, each player either draws or discards cards until they have 5 into the hand. So it's not good if your opponent has a low hand and you help them draw, and it's not really good for you because Bianca was even better than that, drawing until you have 6. But the real usage of this card is if your opponent has a big hand, building up hand, you force him to discard. So just like I said, in the Wailord EX deck, a lot of the times, maybe some decks like, I don't know, like if I use Raybor, you can just say, hey, okay, I'm going to build up the resources, build up the energies, and then attach them all at once and kill the dude in one shot. This card says no, or at least I'm going to make it harder on you. It will force you to discard, and it just really sucks for resource removal with those stall decks. I mean, really, I just can't think of many other decks other than Wailord EX and just Wailord GX, I guess, that use this card. But I think there's some other troll stall decks that would make use of this. Moving on, we got Pokeball, Potion, and Rocky Helmet. attach to your active Pokemon another tool. If it's damaged or knocked out, put 2 damage counters in the attacking Pokemon. Could be an okay item, but um, there were better ones, I guess, or just maybe experience share would be better. I mean, it's the kind of thing, like, once again, like I've said, you need to. It's not even you control the effect if you attack. It's if your opponent attacks. So if they don't, this doesn't do anything, and then they can get rid of it. Anyway, let's go to the big card in here. One of my favorites, Skyla. So this was another very significant card that contributed to why I put this set as one of the best, along with other cards we're gonna look at here. So Skyla was never really on the level of N or Juniper for the cards you draw, like the card advantage it can give you. This one is more of a sniper card. What it means is that you only get one card, but you get pretty much whatever you need. You just get any trainer card. So you can't get Pokemon, you can't get like an energy, but just getting a trainer card covers a lot of ground. You can get like rare candy with this, which was the most significant use. Like if it wasn't for this card, the stage 2 decks that were at least like tier 3 or tier 2 wouldn't even do anything in black and white, and even after that era to this day. So this was an awesome card, and I think they're gonna give us yeah, I think I've seen from Rebellious Clash when I reviewed that set, they're actually gonna bring this card back again, so that's good. But you know, Skyla, you could get a rare candy, you could get a stadium, you could get another item, anything you need, anything you want. Get a switch, just get you out of a tough predicament. Get a supporter to sort of fix your hand next turn. It was just an amazing ass card. Like I use it to this day in Expanded, and if they give this to us in Standard, I know that I'm going to be using it. It'll replace Volkner finally. That card is going to rotate out soon anyway. Okay, and we have a nice. Well, I like the full art in here is good, the original, but I think I like the Breakpoint one better, or Breakthrough one. Switch tool map. I believe tool map. It might have come in here. Maybe it came in another set. No, I think this is the first set it comes in. So turn all your prize cards face up. Essentially a -1, yeah, your terms. It doesn't give you any cards, but seeing your prizes could be really good. You get exactly what you need. Of course, your opponent has access to seeing them too. So it really is kind of a pro card. Maybe some specific decks, specific players want to make use of. I've never really used it, to be honest. I just don't believe in a card that wouldn't give me any advantage, but I don't know. I mean, people have used this quite a bit. It has uses. It thins your hand, I guess, so if you were going to draw cards with a supporter anyway, then it's not too bad. Like a shuffle and draw supporter. Right. So these are all the trainers. The ones that stand out, of course, are Skyla, Computer Surge, Golden Potion, and that's about it. The other ones are kind of I guess Hugh and Asperia City Gym in some decks. So let's look at the EXs while we're down here. Oh, and we have the pretty full arts. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. Charon right here. It's not going to show us, fuck. But yeah, this is like the Charon, draw 3 cards. Because I really like the character, I really like this full art. You know, with his tie and everything, looking really smart. And then you got Bianca. I don't get it. So it shows us Bianca, but it doesn't show Charon. What the hell? Celebi. Right. And there's the Skyla here. There she is. I mean, to me, she always kind of looked like a sort of not exactly a ripoff, but she just seems like another version of Winona. But I like Winona more, obviously, Gen 3, but she's pretty cool. And, you know, the card, the effect is what matters. Okay. We get some golden secret rares too, like I forgot. You get the Rocky Helmet one here, which is probably one of the shittiest secret rares. Any secret rare like these golden trainers is valuable, but you would want to have like a rare candy or ultra ball rather than this. But it's whatever. This one is one of my favorites too. Man, I really wanted to buy this card. It's not going to show us. Is Altaria with Fight Song. Is the one from Dragons Exalted. You get this nice sort of golden cloud bird version. Nice. You got Terrakion here. This one is the one with the Revenge or Retaliate attack. It's Revenge, pretty much. And then this random ass Golurk. This one isn't too great. Devolution Punch. Devolve the defending Pokemon and put the high stage on opponent's hand. It's kind of cool because it does damage too. So you would do like 60. So if you would devolve like a stage 2 and or a stage 1 and then, well, no, actually, if you evolve with the rare candy, it would leave the regular basic Pokemon. So with 60 HP, it's like you were getting an instant KO. But I mean, I just don't remember it being all that great. Still, a shiny secret rare. And then you got Ghost Hammer. This guy wouldn't have a weakness next turn. Anyway. Okay. On to the EXs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Almost all of them are good, minus these guys. So let's start with the biggest one. I mean, it's pretty debatable which is the biggest one, whether it's Keldeo EX or Landorus EX. I guess for me it would be Keldeo EX, but the attacker, you know, for a long time it was Landorus, so I guess, fuck, you know what, let's just go with Keldeo EX. I'm just gonna go with Keldeo EX, because his Russian ability was really, it made it a jack of all trades card, especially when Floatstone came out. So this card, Keldeo EX, you're probably familiar with it, pretty famous. Pretty much just because of Rush In. So unique ass ability, I believe before this card we didn't really get, just can't think of any other Pokemon, either in the DP era or the EX era that had this sort of effect. But I could be forgetting. But if this Pokemon was on your bench, you could essentially get in the active position, make way for me, like Puka used to say in his videos explaining this card. This dude would become active, and it didn't count as you retreating or switching. So it was a beautiful ass ability and pretty significant, pretty much mandatory in decks like Ray Eels to get that sort of switch in, helping you switch, getting the energies on the Pokemon you want, and then moving back. So before Floatstone, obviously the Skyro Bridge, it would help. I think that card, did it come out? Yeah, I think it came out in Next Destinies. Right. So you would slap an energy on this dude and then you could retreat for 1. Or with the Floatstone, when that would come out, you basically have free retreat. Or just attach 2 energies and retreat that way. It was just very significant. And I still use it to this day in that deck. Even though we have the Dawnwing's Necrozma GX, because it's Psychic, this guy's water, and you can actually use Secret Sword with any energy. There's situations where this guy is still better. They only have a 10 HP difference anyway, same retreat. Secret Sword, this guy's attack, it would do 50 for 3 and then 20 for each water energy. So essentially, you were going to put 3 water energies on this guy. He did 110 for 3. It was decent. You slap a bunch more and it would go even higher than that. What people used to do with this and the Blastoise, that actually comes in this set, Delusion, you put like, what, 6? I think, yeah, 6 times 2. Right, that would be 170. So with 6 energies on, you get 1 hit knock gods on, 170 HP X's. You put 1 more, it kills any EX in 1 shot. And with cards like Muscle Band, when that eventually came out, it obviously helped even more. So this was a decent attack too for back then. They basically copy pasted this attack 100 times by now. This sort of get extra damage from energies, but you can meet the energy cost. It doesn't like need extra energies besides the energy cost. Okay, I hope that made sense. Because in the past, usually these kinds of attacks, you needed to meet the cost first and then add extra energies to get the extra damage. Okay. So the reason why I think this card is maybe more significant than Landorus X is because this card can make its way in pretty much any deck that uses Floatstone, and you get basically like you're immune to ailments, status conditions, sleep paralysis, completely aid you. Right. Attacker-wise, though, this guy is the man. Landorus fucking EX. So this card was extremely scary when it came out. It did an assload of damage for just one freaking energy. Hammerhead. 30 on the active and then 30 on a bench Pokemon. And you just saw stuff like this, and then you saw like the stage 2 Pokemon, and you wondered to yourself, what the fuck are these biased motherfuckers thinking? But yeah, 60 total damage for one energy. Before Mr. Mime with Bench Barrier would come out, it would be even crazier because he really didn't have a way to block it. Later on, we got Strong Energies, we got the supporting Furious Fists. This guy was like the biggest exploiter of all of those cards. It's crazy good. And if you got 3 energies eventually, you could do 80 for 3. You discard all fighting energy, it would do 160. So 160 plus strong energies. This guy could even get one-hit knockouts like it was nothing if you could build him up. Like when the other Landorus that gathered energies came out. Fuck me. So obviously Buzzle GX kind of recreated that guy's attack and was also good. But I mean, this guy was even like stronger, such a much older card compared to Buzzle that came in the Sun and Moon era, pretty much 2 eras after this. It had a handy lightning resistance too that could come up. Water resistance could be problematic, big retreat cost, but 180 HP. This was one of the most significant and strongest EX Pokemon. And for as long as it was around, before it was outclassed, people used it. It was just simple to use. You could use this with the bats when they eventually, were released. You could use this with hypnotoxic lasers. You could use this with, Garbodor. So many fucking cards. It was just great because it was a simple to use attacker. Oh well. So yeah, definitely another big card from this set. Now we go to, I guess, the lesser ones. This one I really like, but it wasn't that good. Cresselia. It looks kind of crap, from this picture. But if you actually own this card in real life, and even in TCG Online, you're going to see that it's a really pretty full art. Cresselia, one of the coolest legendaries. Most epic legendaries. So it had 170 HP, nice 1 retreat, so decent stats. The best thing about this card was Sparkling Particles. So at any time between turns, you heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. So it would heal damage counters for free pretty much on itself. So the only real use for this card, because its attack wasn't great, was like if you had a way to manipulate damage counters, you put damage counters on this card and then it would heal itself. So perhaps with use of, if combined with Reuniclus, that's the first card that comes to my mind. I believe there is another strategy that Puka had, like he had the deck. I don't really remember though. You would have to like search his channel, but I do think I saw like this card featured in one of his decks back in the day. Psychic Protection, its only attack, you did 90 for 4. It would get 2-hit KOs, but it was a bit costly. I wish it was like just for 3 and like not even have this sort of effect where you get rid of your weakness. Just be DC compatible, do 90, and at least it would have been good to KO Psychic Weak Pokemon. That would have been sweet. But because it cost 4, it was just too slow, even with DC. And that's it. You just eliminate your weakness next turn. Right. Moving on. Okay, I think that's everything. Nothing really else to say about this card, yeah. Celebi X. This card was more useful than Cresselia, let's just say that, because of time recall. It was one of those EXs that had that low-ass HP, like the event legendary EXs were all like that, like Jirachi, Mew, Victini. They all had this sort of a low-ass HP, Shaman. So with Time Recall, each of your evolved Pokemon could use any attack from the pre-evolutions. So this came long before the Shrine of Memories, I think it was called, in Primal Clash. And if you wanted to like make use of some tactics with stage 1s to stage 2s and stage 1s to use attacks from the pre-evolution, you had to use this card. There's some certain strategies, like I think the Poliwrath Polydot family in Furious Fists, I believe it will work with them. And there was some other tactics. But this is pretty much the reason you would use this card. To help stage 2 decks that weren't very good to begin with. And then Wind Whisk, just 60 for 3, and then switch this Pokemon, one of your bench Pokemon. Really costly, and there were probably better Pokemon that would do this eventually, like the Donphan and Plasma Storm. So yeah, Celebi, pretty simple card. You know, the HP was low. Just Time Recall. That's it. And then the last Pokemon, the last EXs, is the duo of Carom. Starting with the Black Carom. So this guy, Water and Lightning energies, difficult ass Pokemon to use. I mean, because it required like 2 Lightning, 1 Water, and another Colorless, I guess you could use this in Rails and just put 3 Lightning, 1 Water, and do 150, but what the hell was the point of that? Rayquaza and other Pokemon were better. It just does 150. You can't use Free Shock, and that's it. You don't even get one-hit knockouts. Dragon Fang, flip a coin, heads paralysis, 60 for 3. Not exactly impressive. It was a Dragon EX Pokemon, 3 retreat. It was pretty much bad in any way you look at it. I think there's even like, eventually I think another Black Carom EX would come out and be better, but I might be forgetting. Anyway, I think it did the same shit, just different art. Anyway. Then we got White Carom EX. Now, White Carom EX, there is one that's, oh no, actually it's this one. That also does 150 for 4. But you also inflict burn at least. So 2 fire, 1 water, colorless, and you do this little trick. Now, it might be a bit embarrassing to say, but I actually did use this card in the very, very early days of when I started using Pokemon TCG Online. Because I didn't have enough, I think, Quasi X's yet. And I would use like Raybor. Like I had enough Embors, but I didn't have enough Quasi X's. And I used this guy in there. Put the water energy, and you had the fire anyway. If you did get like the 20 with the burn, it was going to be 170 damage total. And that did KO some EXs in one shot. You got Dragon Steam, also 60 for 3, and Coin Flip. This time you discard, oh no, actually you attach a basic energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Okay. And that's it, same stats, 3 retreat, 180 HP, Dragon. And I believe, yeah, these cards came out in Legendary Treasures, both of them. I think that's right, yeah. Okay, and that's all the X's. Let's not waste any more time. So besides the few good Pokemon EXs that I talked about, there's actually more useful regular-ass Pokemon in this set. What would you know about that? So let's go up and start with Vileplume. This wasn't the greatest card here, but it's interesting. It's really interesting, so I'm going to look at it. It's the one with Allergy, Panic. So apply weakness to each Pokemon, both yours and your opponent, as ×4 instead. So this was really just a nice sort of wacky ability that I don't think we ever saw before or since this card. And Puka does definitely have a deck that wants to take advantage of this card. You use this with some of the like evolutions and some other Pokemon, and you take advantage of the weakness of like EX Pokemon, and like even if you did shitty damage, like 50 damage, let's say, because it would be times 4, you would do 200, like you would get one hit KOs on EX Pokemon. So it was definitely wacky. It was definitely not consistent because you had to get this guy out. But it could put in the work if your opponent wasn't prepared or if he gave you the time to pull this off. I had 140 HP, Poland Spray, didn't matter, I guess. 50 for 4 and then Poison. But that sort of freaking ability, man, was crazy. So this was a nice little stage too. And actually should have included this as one of the better cards in my best set review, like when I was talking about cards. But maybe, I don't know, not exactly sure if it would deserve to go that far. Anyway, moving on. We get some other cards in here. I don't want to forget anything. You get like the stage 2. Like you get Superior here from the theme decks and stuff online. You get this Charizard. This isn't a very good card, a good card at all, to be honest. But it's kind of interesting because it had 160 HP for a stage 2 in the black and white era. We really didn't get like 160, like stage 2 Pokemon commonly seen with 160 HP until like the Sun and Moon era, maybe? You could say that. Maybe even after than that. So this guy is significant with that HP, but that's about it. The attacks are not so great, and this guy is very costly too. I think there is a secret rare though. Yeah, the black secret rare, black Charizard, and it has fighting energies too on them. Yep, yep. Like they made the error. You got this camera up. Not good, but it's really cool. I always like the art on this one. Look at these weak ass attacks though. Got Victini too. Yeah, doesn't do much. It's not one of the good ones. So we got Dermanitan. I think this is the one with yeah, Fluid Coin until you get Tails as attack. So just 1 energy. And damage counter punch, if it has any damage counters, you get 120 for 3. Let's look at some real ass cards. Okay, so there's the Blastoise. So Blastoise, the Blastoise line here with Delusion, it basically got like 50,000 prints in this era, starting with this one. Later it would come out in like a secret rare in one of the plasma sets, I believe. Then it came out in like Plasma Blast as an alternate art one. I think that's about all of them, so 3 different ones. But yeah, you had the Delusion. As often as you like, attach water energies from your hand. So this was a top Pokemon from this set, and one of the only viable Stage 2 Pokemon to use pretty much as support for basic EXs. But you would attach as many water energies as you could, break sort of the rules of the game. And Black Carom, this guy was used with that card. In the beginning, you would use Keldeo in here, and that would get the job done too. This guy wasn't a bad attacker either. You slap 4 water energies, he did like 100 for 4. It could go further, but it wasn't really recommended. You were getting 2 hit KOs either way. So 140 HP. Was a great Pokemon for its time, and it just contributes to Boundaries Crossed being an awesome set. Indeed, indeed. We also get this Squirtle here with the Shell Shield, so this was another good thing that aided this deck. You knew that at least your Pokemon, like your basic form of Blastoise, was kind of safe on the bench from Landorus and other guys. Inbuilt protection. And they sort of copy-pasted this effect in other small Pokemon since then. Okay, let's go down, down. Am I missing something? Okay, you got Foolish, Jellicent. That's not the one. Oh no, wait, yeah. It's Stickiness. Retreat cost for each of your opponent's Pokemon in the play is one colorless more. So, kind of like what the one of the Alolan Dugtrios do, or does. There were Pokemon that would do more damage if your opponent has high retreat costs on their Pokemon, so I guess you could combine those with this, but not so great. I guess I thought I'd mention it because it's a solid ability, I suppose. You got this Crogonal. This one doesn't do anything. Only one attack. Bullshit. You got regular ass Keldeos here. Hydropump. Keldeo. This one, wow, fuck me. So this one is even stronger than Keldeo EX. Oh no, wait, nah, it does 60, but you get 10 extra. Right, so my mistake. I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck? This is stronger than Keldeo EX? Yeah, no way. And then you got Keldeo number 2. This one's definitely ass. Let's keep moving. Zip Striker. This one does Flame Charge. It's not the one. I think we looked at the item block one, but I could be wrong. Grumpig. I actually bought those cards as singles thinking that they were good, or I thought maybe they had some potential. Back in the day. Back when I was a fool getting back in the game. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, 110 HP, extra sensor, you could do 120. It normally wouldn't be bad. You wouldn't think this card would be bad. But against the X's, yeah, it is bad. Fucking ass broken card. Here we go. Number, whatever the number is. Number 2, I guess, after Blastoise. We got Dusknor. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is the set that also gives us Dusknor with Sinister Hand. This card, I mean, it was a stage 2, yeah. The attack was ass, yeah. But that Sinister Hand ability is just the definition of game breaking, pretty much. Move damage counters on your opponent's field in any way you like, as often as you like. This was obviously a key part in decks that used like Axelgor, Gothitelle. Use this guy with them to sort of manipulate the damage counters. Flygon with Sand Slammer. That card is also in here. We're going to look at it. You could use this with this. You could use this with... Got so many freaking strategies. Like, just the other day... Well, not the other day, a couple of days ago, but... I played against a guy using Morpeko VMAX. He was using this card to sort of manipulate the spread damage. So, it's an eternally good ability, this Sinister Hand ability. Like, you best believe, if they ever remake this sort of effect in Standard, people are going to lose their mind. But yeah, broken ass ability. Got a Secret Rare version too. So, another awesome regular Pokemon from this set. We got some... yeah, this is the Muna too. So, once during your turn, flip a coin. If heads, if any Pokemon is asleep. If tails, your Pokemon is asleep. So this card was used in certain decks that wanted to stall, and I believe the Musharna here, it's not the one, but there's another one that lets you sort of draw cards or stack cards, something like that. I don't remember. Maybe we even looked at it in a previous set. We get some nice Gothita and Gothorita cards here. No Gothitelle though. And I think I believe, oh, just where are you? It's gotta be a dragon. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, I was just looking at the fighting Pokemon, but yeah, this is a dragon Flygon. Even though the background does kind of make it look like a fighting Pokemon. You know, all the sand and shit. Right. So this is another very good stage 2 from this deck, from this set, not deck. I think the last card too we're gonna look at. And I'll wrap this up. With Sand Tomb, at any time between turns, this Pokemon was active, put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So if they had a full field, like a full bench, you were giving them like 60 damage for free. So this would be effective if you could like attack with a Pokemon and then switch, kind of like what the Excelgor, used to do. And it was sort of an alternative if you didn't want to fuck with the item lock from Gothitelle. You instead promoted this guy to add, more damage, and they would still struggle, with the paralysis from Excelgor. You spread a lot of damage that way, and then the Dusknoir from this same set, once again, combined well. You manipulate the damage counters, and then you choose who you want to kill, who you want to damage, who you want to heal. Insane. So one of the very few like true sort of stage 2 decks that didn't really revolve around any EX Pokemon, like tried true stage 2 decks. I'm just thinking of a Greek word here, but obviously I can't say that. You guys wouldn't understand. Anyway, so that's Flygon, and I think that's basically it. Oh, fuck me. What do you know? I almost forgot about you. The fucking Raticate, that is a pain in my ass and expanded, is also here. So yeah, this little Raticate, it also comes here. What would you know about that? I almost forgot. With Super Fang, put damage counters to defending Pokemon until its HP is 10. So this, the more huge ass HP Pokemon we get, the more broken this guy becomes. Like, it's one of the weirdest, like, exceptional cards where the older it gets, it becomes stronger as opposed to weaker. Because you can just kill anything in one shot with this. Now, Hypnotoxic Laser didn't come out yet, but it would come really soon, and people could do that combo with this guy. It's crazy right now because we have the triple acceleration energy that makes this guy work with 1 energy, and that's the real fucked up thing. Before you needed like a DC and another energy, and it didn't make it that good. It made it more of a gimmick. But yeah, this fucker is in here. And I don't think I forgot anything, but let's just look to be sure. No, yeah, Stoutland. Another freaking Pokemon that's so good from this set. So yeah, Boundaries Crossed, man. It's just, damn. I mean, like, after a while, after I made like the best set reviews, the top 10 sets of all time, I was thinking to myself, man, is Boundary Crossed? Maybe I should have put like Dark Explorers or something, but nah, this set is just too good. You got this Stoutland too. This guy with Shock Lock, maybe you guys know this deck. With Raichu from the Burning Shadows. Inflict paralysis when you evolve. As long as this guy is active, your opponent can't play any supporter cards, so they can't use Guzma and shit. You get some sort of like item lock going too, or just something, and you're good to go. Just supporter lock pretty much. I mean, what else do you need? It needs to be active, and it's only really a card used in specific decks to facilitate those sort of stall control strategies, but it's a strong card. You gotta admit that. Even if I never use those strategies. And I think that should do it. Yeah, there's the trainers. I don't think we forgot anything, like with Dark Explorers. And Boundaries Crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Hell of a black and white set. Pretty big too. And we looked at a lot of regular ass Pokemon too. The few EXs that were significant were very, very significant. It doesn't have like numerous, but I mean, both Landorus and Keldeo were just pretty much, what's the word? Iconic cards, I guess, for the black and white era. So that's it. That's the 7 black and white set. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like this expanded series. I'm gonna keep doing it because I like doing it anyway. But I hope you guys are enjoying it too. So this was Boundaries Crossed. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, and share this video with your friends. And I will see you on this series anyway when we do the next set. Start with the plasma sets. So Cerebral Fighter 4, thank you guys for watching. Give me a good thumbs up for any of your favorite cool full arts in here. And that is what's up. What's up?